Welcome back to our series on short story writing.
A short story, moving on, has different types of writing embedded within it. So many times when we talk about short story writing, students think that we are only talking about narrative writing.
Right.
But short story writing includes, if it is to be an effective piece of writing, would include different types: expository writing, giving some information. So for example, it may be talking about a town and it gives you a brief paragraph or a line or two about the history of the town, because
Right.
that history or that information may be relevant to the story. Of
Right.
course, descriptive writing goes hand in hand
Okay.
with narrative writing, because
Yes.
you're describing characters,
Right.
you're describing places, you're
Okay.
describing emotions.
And I learned sometime in primary school that, we use our senses.
Definitely.
Okay.
Very good, I tell you. I think you should leave mathematics and come to language.
Oh no.
Because this descriptive, pulling on the senses, the adjectives, the adverbs, the figures of speech in this description. Because sometimes students think, I'm doing narrative writing, I didn't get a descriptive writing question, so they're just relaying events like a report.
Oh, so they're not pulling their ideas from
it's not
other
a report.
areas,
It's not
right.
a short story. Is not a report.
Okay.
So in order to engage people, then it has to be more than giving information or just talking about it, narrating events.
Right.
So the description enriches the writing and greatly helps to engage and sustain interest.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
So let us look at an example of a description.
Go right ahead.
This is how descriptive writing may be embedded in the story. And this is taken from this one. This description is part of a story that got the English exam short story award in 2006.
Okay.
Right? And so I got it from the website, online source. And it says this is a description of the dress of a character. On one foot, she wore a discarded men's boot, which she found scavenging for food. On the other, she wore a woman's shoe, which seemed to be quite stylish, but now had a broken heel and was tied to her feet by a string, which viciously bit into her instep.
It's like I'm seeing this woman.
You're seeing, and who are you
Yes.
seeing when I read that?
I'm seeing a beggar or somebody
Excellent.
who is homeless.
Very good.
Right.
You see, you got it, and that's exactly what that's the kind of person the student wrote about. So the
Wow.
words are used to paint a picture.
Right.
Almost like an artist
Right.
painting a picture.
Right.
And this is what we want from our students.
Wow,
So rather
excellent.
than just say, there was a beggar on the street, we are getting a picture that
Right.
tells us, without saying the word, that this is a homeless person, this is a beggar, this is a destitute individual,
Right.
poverty stricken.
Right.
All right? Now, if I move on to the description of a setting now.
All right,
So I
go
just looked at the description of a person, and I'm now looking at the description of a setting,
And
which
this is where
also
the story takes place.
definitely.
All
I
right.
tell you, man, you are a teacher of English. He hungrily gulped in the fresh air. The clean tang of the sweet smell of rain still lingered in the atmosphere, and his nostrils welcomed it. It was something he knew.
Okay.
And again, this comes from a short story that a student wrote
Wow.
in 2004. So you're seeing that your child can do it.
Of course she can.
This is someone from the age group who has described this setting. And now let us look at a narrative example. It was 5 long years since the invaders had captured our country. Uniformed strangers with guns like mobile oxygen cylinders walked through our towns as regular citizens, and the sounds of bullets became our only music. As we can see, this passage or this paragraph basically narrates or shares information, shares ideas and experience. The first sentence gives us a little information, so it has a touch of the expository. It had been 5 long years since these people had captured the country. So it starts out appearing to be informative. But as it continues, we can see that it goes more into a more narrative than an expository format. And not only that, though it is narrating, it is twinning together the two types of writing, because we can see the descriptions here. Are you seeing? I know you may not know about devices, but when it talks about uniformed strangers with guns like mobile oxygen cylinders, what are you seeing with those guns? What kinds of guns are you seeing?
I'm seeing some long guns.
Long guns.
Yes.
Machine guns, as we call them, right? And when it says the sounds of bullets became our only music.
So they're firing a lot of shots.
Right. But you notice
Seems
music is usually something pleasant.
Right.
And you're contrasting it
Right,
with the sounds of bullets.
Right. Wow.
So the contrast and the simile, the one guns like mobile oxygen cylinders, help, those descriptions, though the use of those devices help to give you a very, very clear visual image or imagery of the soldiers and everything that was happening there
at that time.
And the gunshots, etc.
Right.
All right. And so I am going to end here today. Now, there is so much more to do in short story writing, but I don't want to overwhelm you with the information. So I'm going to close with the different question types that students may get. I think we may have mentioned it earlier, right? That in doing the short story, students should be prepared to address or to answer questions that come in different forms. So we have those that may be a title or a topic.
Right.
They may get words to include.
Right.
They may get a sentence.
Question, miss. And if they get the words to include, they must be in the piece.
I tell you, after today, we're going to have you helping to teach other students.
All right.
All right? Because it must be. So it is not optional.
Okay.
So once you are told include words or include a sentence or end with a sentence or begin with a sentence, it's not optional.
All right. So whatever they ask, that's what I have to do. So if it's to begin with the sentence, I can't put it at the end or in the middle. Right. And I can't take a part and put it here and then put another part there.
Definitely not.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Of course, they may get a situation. So the situation, when you get a situation, then you're not expected necessary to take it up and just put it back as given, because this is just a situation which will help you to shape the story.
Your story. Okay.
And they may get an ending, as we said before, that they're expected to use a beginning or a picture.
Okay.
But in part 2, we will look at how a picture maybe, how a picture should be used, because a student must ask certain careful questions of a picture.
Yeah, that must be very difficult.
It could be difficult if you just look at the picture. For some students, even though a picture is expected to be a concrete way of looking at things, some students can be overwhelmed, especially if it has one character or just a scenery and they don't know how to fill in the blanks. But asking the right questions will help the student to interpret the picture and to shape a story.
Understand.
So I hope I have helped some.
Yes,
in some way
a whole
today.
lot. You have helped a whole lot. I'm really grateful. I think I'm ready. I think I am ready to help her.
I am excited to hear that.
So, Miss, whenever she writes her stories, would you be able to mark them for me?
I would be able to assist, but I would also encourage you to make use of the class teacher. I know based on the class that you told me, our grade 10 teachers are exceptional because we do staff development, and so all our teachers are on the same page. So while I'll be willing to give an eye, I would say I would ask you to trust the judgment of the class teacher as well, because all our teachers are at the level, the expected level. It's just that the teacher was ill, unfortunately. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you
and
so
I congratulate you on your initiative as a parent in coming in to get this support.
Thank you.
So all the best to you and your child.
Please remind me where I can get the syllabus.
So the syllabus may be accessed from the CSEC store, and that is online. So if you type in on a search engine, CSEC online store, any search engine, then it will come up. All right, and as I say, it is $0
Okay.
to you.
Thank you
I
so
thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you
And
very
please
much.
come again.
Have a great day.
Thank you. The
Thank
same
you.
to you.